Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. It is the 2nd of February. That means it is the 2-2 portal day, and I'm actually doing the reading on the 2-2 portal. So this is exciting. I would have liked to have done it at 2:20 or a.m. or p.m., but that's okay. We're getting closer. All right, so let's take a look. Of course, as we always do, we're going to look at a little numerology, a little astrology, and then I'm going to do a card reading using a new deck that was gifted to me by my good friend Ona, the Hermetic Tarot. So let's get started with the numbers. Alrighty. So let's just start big here. All right. So we're looking at the 2-2 portal numerologically. We add up the numbers of the day, 2-2, 2024. 2024, of course, is an 8 year. We're in an 8 vibration. This year, as you sow, so shall you reap. Karma, the strength card, finding your voice, creative self-expression, working with divine will. All of that is connected to the 8 vibration year. But now we add the 2 of the month and the 2 of the day, and we get a 12-3 vibration. Now on the tree of life, this vibration is found on this path over here, on this side of the tree, and I have the 12-3 there. This 12-3, of course, in the tarot is the Hanged Man. And so there's an energy about this portal where we need to stay connected to cosmic consciousness. We're on the cusp of big changes and big shifts in our world, in our world order. It's actually been going on for a while now, but we're really, I think, gonna notice it now more than ever before. And of course, part of that is because Pluto has re-entered Aquarius, and so we're being guided by the world soul into a new energy, into that Aquarian energy. So the path of the Hanged Man is associated with the planet Neptune. And Neptune at the time of this portal is at 26 degrees of Pisces. A new moon that divides its influences, freedom of choice. Civilization demands conformity, but the soul requires freedom to choose. The soul requires freedom to choose what comes next. And this is an exercising of your free will. Now, it's interesting that this is talking about free will and exercising your free will under a vibration that, as you can see, this person is not moving, is kind of idle, or is hung up, as it were. There is a sense of being in limbo with this vibration. And yet, the 2 is about seeing both sides of things. The 2 is more observational and supportive as a vibrational number. And it isn't really until I think next month at the next portal where like we make a decision. Our free will is the choice of the direction we're going to go, and then when the opportunity arises and we're sort of freed from this state of limbo, then we'll actually be able to act on our choices. The interesting thing also about this vibration and where it sits on the tree of life is it's on the path that connects Geburah, which is the red circle here, the red Sephiroth, with Hod. Hod is connected to Mercury, and Geburah is connected to Mars. And it's interesting because Mars and Mercury are doing something very interesting things on this 2-2 portal. So let's move to the actual astrology of the situation. Now, this I did an Aries rising chart, so it doesn't matter where this happens. And I believe I did it at 2:02 a.m. I could have done this at 2:02 p.m. It wouldn't have made that much of a difference, save that the moon is about at 12 degrees of Scorpio at 2:02 p.m. So I want to point out Mars and Mercury. You can see Mars and Mercury there up there in the 10th house. They're both in Capricorn. And I want to also point out that Mars and Mercury are square the nodes. Now, when you're looking at planets and the nodes, generally a square is about maybe a 6-degree orb, maybe an 8-degree orb. I like to widen the orb when we're dealing with planets square the nodes to 10 degrees. And so of Mercury and Mars, the tighter orb here is Mars. So taking action. When planets are square the nodes, it's as if we're stuck between the past and the future, right? It's like we can't move either way. There is a resolution to this called the resolution node. In the case of this configuration, the resolution node is the south node in Libra. And so we continue to sort of go on the understanding of renegotiating our old contracts. We still need to change the way we relate in certain situations and change the way we relate to certain people, and even just the dynamics of the relationship in general. If you're in a relationship where you don't hold any power and the other person holds all the power, and of course power can be an issue here because we're dealing with Capricorn. These are the kind of things that you would want to look at. How has your past, the south node, your past relationships, or the way that society deems, because Libra is very much an energy where there's an expectation, right? Like Libras know what's expected of them. They are and they try to like find a balance, right? So we're looking at this energy of um, and sometimes the negative, like a negative aspect of Libra is giving your power away in order to have peace. And we've been sort of being required to give our power away to people who know better than us, right? Who are experts, who are, magnates of commerce, or priests, or philosophers, or or teachers, or these sort of large institutions that deem what's correct, what's proper. A lot of that is breaking down because Pluto has moved out of Capricorn and is now in Aquarius. And Aquarius is an energy where it's a humanitarian energy. It's about Aquarius is the sign of humanity. So it's about humanity having a say. And that's much more unstable generally because there's many more voices, there's many more people. It's not just one person that you can point at and blame. You really have to get a sense of the zeitgeist, right, of humanity. And but most people, I would say, and no matter what your stripe, no matter what your political stripe, no matter what your sex, your preferences, your political leanings, your nationality, your race, most people would rather live in a peaceful, a peaceful society, right? They may not understand that equal is an option because they haven't necessarily had that experience in some places. And so we are looking at the power dynamics here. Now, Mars in Capricorn is a powerful position for Mars. It's exalted in Capricorn. Mercury is no slouch in Capricorn either. And Mercury tends to be very practical in Capricorn. But both of these planets are square the nodes, and in both cases, the resolution node is to renegotiate our contracts. To do what? To move into the north node, which is our destiny. And the north node is in Aries. Now, interestingly enough, the north node in Aries is ruled by that Mars in Capricorn. And so it almost feels like those people in power, it behooves them to renegotiate how we relate to one another, to bring forth an ability to the North Node, conjunct Chiron, heal the wounds of war. Heal the wounds of war. Or heal the wounds around the masculine, or heal the wounds around um, a crisis of identity. I know as an American, we're in the midst of an identity crisis. Of course, the United States has their Chiron at 20 degrees of Aries. And actually, the North Node has already gone over that point. And when we have the eclipse in April, it's actually conjunct the Chiron of America. So these Chironic themes of Chiron and Aries, the wounds of war, the wounded warriors, the toxic masculine, the right to assert yourself, the right to say no for women, um, fighting back, being believed, all of that stuff. Also, how you define yourself. Whose business is it? Is it anybody else's business but your own? Can you call yourself what you want? Can you be who you are? Or is your skin color or the language that you speak or the religion that you practice, does that define who you are? Those are only things about you. They're not really who you are. We are all a spark of the divine. And the divine will express itself in myriad ways. But if we keep banging on each other and beating each other up and bombing each other into oblivion, it's almost like it's almost like a self-hatred, which can also be a Chiron in Aries kind of energy. So we're moving through this, we're working through this, we're trying to figure out perhaps why we're in this situation. And we're in this situation because, as with any healing process, generally things get worse before they get better. It's like if you have a boil on your butt, the deeper it is, the less you'll feel it. The closer it gets to the skin, the more sensitive it becomes to pressure, until the point where it either bursts or it's lanced, and then all the yuck comes out. But until that yuck comes out, until the swamp is drained, really, which is what's happening, with help from the swamp monster, okay? Or just in general, if somebody had to go in there and disrupt and show people what was really there, even if they themselves are doing the exact same thing, it's important that we see where the wound is. And once we have the wound, once the wound is lanced, and of course Aries deals with sharp objects, uh, then we can work with it. Then we can work on the healing. And really, Neptune is sort of about that, is about healing. It's about letting go. It's about letting go and letting God in Pisces, no less. And the Sabian symbol of uh, in the of 26 degrees of Pisces in Dane Rudger's book, he describes it as the fallacy of totalitarianism. The fallacy of totalitarianism. No one person, no one idea, no one thing is are we going to unite under. It's not going to be just one person at the top and then everybody else has to go by those rules. That's not how it may be how it has worked. And then I might ask you, well, how's that working for you, right? So we've gotten into this situation. It's time to bring forth the voice of the feminine here, right? It's time to bring on the voice of the people. We need the balance, right? We need the balance. And perhaps with these two planets squaring the nodes and the resolution node being Libra, the sign of balance, it's an evaluation of how, in the case of Mars, how are our actions balanced with what we want to accomplish in our lives? Mercury, how is our mind working? How does that align up with what we want to accomplish? With the North Node in Aries, we're being asked to be ourselves, but most people either don't know who they are, um, or they know who they are, but they're afraid to show who they are. People are afraid of being judged, and in some cases, people afraid of being hurt. And there's good reason for a lot of that, right? So these are some of the themes that I see in this chart. I do want to point out that Saturn is in a lovely trine to the moon. That's really nice. That's a trine of understanding. Trine of understanding. We can also look at what Venus is doing at this time, because Venus is the ruler of the South Node. Well, Venus is at 13 degrees of Capricorn. Let me see, is that 13 degrees? Yeah, so Venus is about 13 degrees of Capricorn. What's interesting about that is back in 2022, Venus started the year retrograde in Capricorn. And when the nodes of the moon shifted into Taurus and Scorpio, North Node in Taurus, South Node in Scorpio, I believe this was 2022. Or wait, was it 2021? Might have been 2021. When that happened, Venus was at this degree. This just degree is at the south node of Pluto. The south node of Pluto is in Capricorn. The north node of Pluto is in Cancer. And so as a soul, as souls, as we're all souls together here, the direction of evolution for all our souls is in the direction of Cancer, which is about feeling our feelings, and it's about the feminine, and it's about the mother, and it's about the earth, and it's about the nurturing qualities. And so there's Venus right there at that degree, and that degree is actually when that happened, when Venus was retrograde. I believe that was the year that the Dobbs decision came down, or that there was a cycle with that. I can't remember exactly. I'd have to look back and see, but and so it was the Venus in Capricorn retrograde sort of set up the whole reversal of the Dobbs decision. And since then, Venus is, had a retrograde cycle in Leo, right? Venus in Leo, that was just last summer. And from that, what it seemed like to me is the whole Gaza situation developed, the whole Hamas, Israel, Gaza situation developed with that Leo, because Israel's Pluto is in Leo, and it's conjunct Mars and I think Saturn. So that energy of that Venus retrograde sort of stressing the chart of Israel, and also the chart of Netanyahu, because Netanyahu is only a year younger than the state of Israel. We can see how that affected with this Venus energy. I know I'm sort of getting off track, but I just, that comes into my head. I might as well share it with you. So again, of course, Venus is actually also square the nodes here. So we have Venus, Mars, and Mercury, the three personal planets squaring the nodes of the moon on the day of the 2-2 portal. Venus, Mars, and Mercury are the personal planets. So this is very personal for us to renegotiate relationships on a very personal level. And that's kind of where it starts, right? How you relate to other people in your life is ultimately how you're going to relate to the world in general, and what's going to be, if you're always fighting with somebody in your life, or you're trying to control them, or you're trying to save them from themselves, then that gets expressed in the outer world as well, with victimizer consciousness. That's something that we no longer need. We don't need the victimizer consciousness, because we're all one, right? We're all one anyway. All right, so that's what I see in the astrology. So let me, I could go on, and I promised myself that I wouldn't do that, because I just put out the February Astrology Kabbalah, and I only went through half of February. And I said, I'll only go through half of February, otherwise it'll be too long. Last month I did it for an hour in 17 minutes. Well, I only did half of February, and it was only like 2 minutes less. It's 2 minutes shorter. All right, so I'm going to be using this beautiful deck that Ona gifted me. It's the Hermetic Tarot. It's got a lot of the Hermetic symbols in it. And I just want to show you what's on the back of this deck. This is symbolic of the, or I'm actually, it might be called something else, but this is symbolic of the 22 paths on the Tree of Life. The middle, we have 3 petals. You see the 3 petals? Those 3 petals are the 3 mother letters of the Hebrew alphabet, Mem, Aleph, and Shin. Mem is water, Aleph is air, and Shin is fire. And then we have, around that, we have 7 little like petals, and those are the 7 classical planets, the 7 planets, and those are associated with something called double letters in Hebrew. And then we have around that 12, which is the 12 zodiac signs, which I believe are called simple numbers. I think they're called simple letters. So this rose itself is sort of the tree of life. So I love this deck. I think it's a beautiful deck. So we'll take a look at it. I'll try to keep my instruction down to a minimum. So what do we need to be aware of in this 2-2 portal? What do the cards say to us? What do the cards say? I'm always kind of interested to see if what the astrology is showing me is what comes up in the cards. So we'll see. Or it could just be something else or something added. I like these cards because they're perfect size to shuffle, and they're kind of slippery, so they're easier to shuffle than your average deck of cards. Some of these cards are so beautiful. The art is just so lovely. You want to have a nice big card so you can see the art in it, but they're impossible to shuffle. Oh, the trials and tribulation of card readers. All right, let's see what's going on. What's the advice? You can't make this stuff up. Look at this. Oh, the Hanged Man, the Hanged Man. This speaks to us of staying connected to cosmic consciousness, knowing what you can affect and what you can't. What you have no power over, you need to let go of. What you have power over, this is and this is really about connection with cosmic consciousness. This really is. In fact, this is connected to the letter Mem, which is one of the mother letters. Water, Mem. Actually, is there Mem in here? I'm surprised. Oh, yeah, there it is. Or actually, it's not Mem, it's Mayim. Just like Farrah Fowler on the thing, Blossom there. Can you see that? Hold on. Let me see if I can. Oh, shoot. I don't think you can see it. Well, that little thing in the corner, that's a Mayim. Sorry. My Hebrew is not good. As anybody who's knows it's called the spirit of the mighty waters, and the mighty waters is cosmic consciousness, challenged by the 3 of Pentacles. The 3 of Pentacles is what you're best at. It's work, but at the highest level possible. In a way, it's spiritual work. It's those people who are fabulous at what they do, and they love what they do. They don't even feel like they're working. That's the challenge. How do you get there? How do you get there? How do you find the thing that feeds your soul? What work, what great work is there to feed the soul? And we have our third eye, our consciousness connected to cosmic consciousness. So when we do that, we open ourselves up to a greater beingness. Underneath it all, the Princess of Pentacles. Where to start? Where to start? The Princess of Pentacles in this deck is called Princess of the Echoing Hills. Shout it from the mountaintop. I don't know if that's probably not a song, but I made it up. So this is the first step. So underneath it all is an understanding that this is simply a first step. That this isn't necessarily a giant revelation that's going to direct the rest of your life. We're actually being more, what we do in this moment matters more in a way than where our goal. Not that we shouldn't have a goal or a vision, but if you're so busy looking at a goal and looking to the future, you miss what's around you. You miss the life that you're living. And what life are you living? What are you living? What does your life feel like? What's your first step going to be? This is about being in your body, guys. This is about being in your body and being on the earth and looking around and saying, what am I going to do? I was just on Facebook, and I think the person I saw on Facebook does sometimes watch my stuff, so you'll know who you are. I won't mention names because I wouldn't do that without your permission. But I have a friend on Facebook who is also so she put a picture up, and she had like an outfit on with green on it, and she was getting ready to help her community create, I think, shelters or something in case of emergencies, in case of some kind of a calamity or something like that. So she was actually going to help to build the shelters for people who might need them in the case of an emergency, right? And that's like such a first step grounded thing to do. It's just like, yes, how can I as an individual do that, right? How do and really what it's just really about shining your light. It's about being yourself, and it's about doing what you love, and it's about um but I say do what you love. Sometimes you have to spend years doing what you don't love before you know what you love. So it's okay. It doesn't matter at what point of life you're in. This is the life we have at this moment. So everybody has the power to take the first step. In the past, we have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords. Now, the Knight of Swords is a knight that takes action on what he thinks is true. So there's a question of truth here. There's not a question of commitment, but there's a connect it's what there's commitment, but not always truth in the past. The Knight of Swords is also the impulsive knight. And while he may be very brave and very, very valorous, he can also be very foolish because he doesn't know enough. He doesn't have enough information before he jumps into battle. And it creates a lot of havoc. Has that been your life? Is that what happened? Is that how you have lived your life, where you're saving everybody and then you never get to do what you want to do, or you never get to express who you really are because you're always putting out fires? Are you a crisis junkie? If there's no crisis in your life, do you pull somebody in who's going to create one? Right? That could be something that this vibration speaks to. This can also speak to criminality. And it's interesting because a lot of the people who are surrounding the ex-president have this vibration as a major vibration in their chart. He doesn't. But a lot of the people around him, I think Matt Gaetz might have this. Marjorie Taylor Greene has this vibration. And there's people around him, I think even like maybe some of the lawyers, Cheeseborough or something. Maybe I don't know about him, but this card comes up a lot. So that's the past, though. In the sky, the Hierophant. This is government. This is order. This is the Constitution. But it's also wisdom. It's also the wisdom of the ages. A lot of time it's associated with traditional wisdom. And I just finished saying, oh, Pluto moved out of Capricorn and now it's going to be about the people and all of this stuff. But you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? You have to take what was valuable from the last Pluto in Capricorn time, or take what's valuable, the valuable stuff of Capricorn. Because what Pluto does is it heals the sign that it's in. It heals the sign that it's in. And so there's a some sort of healing process that's going on. And now that it's in Aquarius, it's going to be about healing humanity. It's going to be about healing humanity. But healing, as I said, is not pretty generally. It has to like come out and express itself so that we can start to heal it. If you don't know it's there, you can't do anything about it. And as we wake up to our own humanity, we end up waking up to our own pasts, to our own the things that we've done and how they've gotten us here. Saturn is in Pisces. It's coming to the end of the zodiacal cycle, and it's going to start again in Aries. And when it does start again in Aries in 2026, it conjoins Neptune in Aries. And Neptune is our imagination, right? But it's the energy that comes up from the great cosmic sea. And so we're going to be creating a whole new reality. What do you want that reality to look like? What do you want that reality to look like? You want to still see babies getting blown to bits, or children getting shot with AK-47s or whatever, people suffering, starving, having to move out of their country for what? For who? The way indigenous tribes have been treated? Why? They have the wisdom of the earth. We're not going to survive without the wisdom of the indigenous. We won't. So we're going to have to figure this out, but we're going to figure it out. And I think the key to a lot of this is that first step, our connection to the earth, our reverence, not just for the earth, but for the feminine. For the feminine. How bad do we feel about the feminine that we're shooting up the progeny, the babies? Oh, my daughter just went into third grade. And now she, I mean, it's like I I know I hope I don't get I hope I don't get flagged for this. Can you get flagged for saying this stuff? It's just the way it is, right? So, oh gosh. So we're waking up. We're waking up. Let's see what's in the future. The moon. Interestingly enough, the moon card in the tarot is associated with the sign of Pisces. See Pisces up there? Didn't I just say Saturn and Pisces? Saturn and Pisces. There's a lot of suffering. There's a lot of releasing, letting go, forgiveness, compassion, love, unity that comes through Saturn and Pisces. So we have access. And perhaps part of what we're here to learn is that if we ask for it, we'll get it. And so if we there there's a lot of spiritual help right now. There's a lot of help. Just like in any kind of catastrophe, the people are going to help each other because you have each other, and this is what you do. You want to come together. Usually after tragedy, you want to come together. And so in a way, it's a way for us to come back together. And that's really what Pisces is. And then we have the Aries, right? And we have Saturn and Neptune in Aries. And so it rises up. So these years that we have now are going to be a lot of things that have been known but not come out yet, or not like put in everybody's face where they can't avoid seeing it, right? That stuff's going to come out in service or in as a process to us, I think, moving and deciding like, no, really, that's not a good idea. I don't want to do it that way anymore. I don't want to do it that way anymore. And for those who have more freedom to say things like that and to fight for what is fair and just, I mean, we all play our part, right? We're all playing our part in this. How others see it? The Ace of Pentacles. This is a new world, baby. And how others see it, well, we're talking about us going through this 2-2 portal on planet Earth, because 2-2 portal is a thing connected to planet Earth because we use twos, and it's like the language and it's the calendar. Not that everybody, right? Not everybody goes by this calendar. Well, I guess they go by the days, maybe. Well, not everybody goes by the same calendar, but for the most part, right? I don't know that much about calendars, obviously, I guess. But this is the extraterrestrials, maybe our guides, our angels, or whatever, are saying this is the new world, guys. This is the beginning of the new. It's the beginning of the new. And so let's see, your domestic situation, the Eight of Pentacles, prudence, the Sun in Virgo. This is about taking care of what needs to get taken care of in your home. Is it your finances? Is it your health? How's your health? Is it your money? I said that twice. I guess it's my money. Is it your work? Is it you just have to clean your closets? Like, what is it? Virgo, right? Virgo, what needs to be fixed? What needs to be mended in the home? Okay. The Hanged Man is knowing what you can do and doing it, and knowing what you have no control over and letting it go. There are things we can do. Just because you're hanging out in the Hanged Man, that's your consciousness hanging out in the Hanged Man. You get to move around the building. Sorry. Hopes and fears. Yeah, well, loss. Some people want to lose things and lose the pain. It's a painful time to be alive. There's a lot of suffering. There's a lot of suffering because, we're denying our love nature. Or we go along with it. We're like, yeah, well, that's the way things are. Well, no, they are that way because we create the structure for them to be that way with our mind and our focus and our intention. If you are intending to be your best self, to follow your heart and do the things that feed your soul, the soul feeds the body. If the soul's out, the body is dead. So the body needs the soul in order to walk around, to be animate. But we have to treasure the body. We have to take care of the body. This is the body. Our physical bodies are Mother Earth. And how many people have rashes? How many people do you see advertisements for things like psoriasis and eczema and all these eruptive sort of like the skin an organ of excretion, that those like fiery things or big pimples on your nose or any kind of like eruption like that is like fire energy, right? It's like it's energy that doesn't have any place to go, so it sort of works on you, but you can like we're changing. We have to figure out how we're going to work with the planet. And that's why we need the indigenous. The Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups is um, often an energy where you're not being aware of what's being offered to you. You're too busy being disaffected, disconnected. Um, the four of in the Rider-Waite deck, the Four of Cups, the guy's like dressed like a nobleman, and he's just sitting there bored because he's a nobleman, and like that's a lot of like, and then right next to his head is the cup of the 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 cup of love, right? The Ace of Cups being offered again by the hand of God in that deck, right? This is called the Lord of Blessed. Is that say blessed? I have to turn around. Pleasure. Blended pleasure. The Lord of blended pleasure. The moon in Cancer. The, the Lord of blended pleasure. This is a Jupiter card in the Tree of Life. The fours are all connected to Jupiter. So there is also a sense of like, well, it could be expansion of generosity. That's what I think it is. Expansion of generosity. Sharing the wealth. I want to go with that. The King of Pentacles, having dominion over your physical self, your body, your finances, knowing what you need to do, how to manifest, taking care of your earthly needs, right? The Star, hope, the Star. America. The Star is an Aquarius card. And Pluto's in Aquarius. And February is a big month because all of the personal planets that are square the nodes right now on this 2-2 portal will be going through the gauntlet of Pluto they're going to move into Aquarius, and the first thing they meet, first toe in, they meet Pluto. And Pluto requires a death and a rebirth, a transformation of how we think, what we do, and what we value. Underneath it, we have the Ten of Pentacles, wealth, Lord of Wealth, Six of Wands, victory. This is the Path of Life and Shadow of America, that card. And the Knight of Pentacles. This is good. This indicates to me saying that the time of the impulsive, albeit perhaps misguided or lying to themselves, knight is replaced by the cautious night, the night that, well, is protective, is protective. Powerful stuff, guys. Let me pull a goddess card. Today is Imbolc, Candlemas, St. Bridget's Day, St. Blaise's Day. St. Blaise was the blessing of the throats. They would take two candles like this and bless your throats in the Catholic religion. And of course, Bridget is a fire goddess. Um, she's a fire goddess of the Celtic people. And I do have a new deck that I purchased myself. I went on to US Games, which does the Rider-Waite deck. I just wanted to see like what other decks they had. And was that how I did it? No, I know. This is the artist that I love. I just love her. And one of my watchers, and I apologize for not knowing your name, but it was a number of years ago. Mentioned that I loved this woman's art, and she sent me some of her art, a couple of cards, and I have them down in my office, and we love them. I mean, they're all around the house, and they're powerful images. And so, thank you. Hopefully, you're listening and you know who you are. Um, Emily Balavet. Balavet. I want to let you guys know how much I appreciate um, your support over the years. I know many of you have been with me for a long time, and some people are totally new, but I have been around for a long time, and there's a lot of things, as you know, that happened in my life because I was sharing them with you, taking care of my mom and stuff, and life with the dogs, and walks through the garden, and really having to kind of manage this whole Trump presidency. I mean, that's what got me. I was on YouTube before the Trump presidency. I was just doing astrology, trying to do daily stuff. I had a few people who watched me. I think I had like 12 people. And then when Trump got on, I mean, when Trump got in, I I was just like those first days, man, those were tough. Those first 2 years were really tough because it was like you kept every morning you'd wake up and you felt like you got punched in the face by something else he did, something else that you valued, that he was harming. And then the children at the border and separating from the look, I tell you, I'm a child, I'm a woman, I'm the child of someone who got their baby taken away from them and she never had a chance to touch her baby. And I never got held by my mother who gave birth to me. Not a minute. Not a minute. At least now they know that those couple of hours, that bonding time is so very important. So that was painful to watch. But I want to pull a couple of these cards. They are so beautiful. Um, they're so beautiful. I don't know. I pressed something instead of enable AI. Maybe I'll look better. Is that what that does? Oh my God, I can. Hopefully I don't do it again. Oh Jesus. I hope you enjoy these conversations because I do. All right, let's see. This card is poking out at me. I love it. I'm going to read from the book because it is a new deck. By the way, this deck is called Mystic Sisters Oracle. Okay, it's a beautiful deck. It's not that expensive, really. And if you're looking for a new oracle deck, no, I mean I'm not. I just think it's beautiful, and I love her art. This is not a paid announcement in any way. So what did we get? Mystic Sisters. You can't make this stuff up. The Mystic Sisters. It's funny. I was talking to Ona and I said, the Mystic Sisters. I said, we should really like do a thing, call it the Mystic Sisters. Oh no, maybe that's what we have to do. Hope you're watching, Ona. Or we could like have a number of Mystic Sisters. Doesn't just have to be me and Ona. We already do moonshine and moon shadows, right? All right, let me read this to you. Sorry. I'm just sort of going off on my own little diatribe here, but I'm enjoying myself. Psychic connections and shared vision. I love this. Oh, goodness. The Mystic Sisters remind you to trust and value your closest friends. Seek their advice and offer yours to them. If you are not able to physically visit them, try contacting them by psychic means. They are those special few who we meet in our lives with whom mysterious bonds form so deeply it feels like we've known each other souls before in previous incarnations. These friendships offer lessons through which we can correct our karmic behavior. They awaken us to hidden gifts of character. Perhaps they have some aspect you admire, but finding lacking in yourself. All it takes is to resolve your present issue, to channel your friend's nature. Let their voices be a guide. Send them love and gratitude in return. Mystic Sisters. So it looks like, it's the bonds of love. It's the bonds of love. The thing about love is love transcends death, right? I mean, there are a lot of people in everybody's lives that are dead. We don't love them less. In a way, we love them more. We in order to find them, and we have to reach out to them, and that reaching out into the ethers to feel them again is an expansion of the love and the connection that you have. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. So let's connect, guys. Let the Mystic Sisters connect. If anybody has ideas about the Mystic Sisters, please share. You can email me if you don't want to put it like in public, but just an idea. All right, I think I'm done. Um, I'm actually going to pick some more of these for myself, so but that's off camera. I love these cards. So, all right, that's what I see. That's what I see in the portal. That's what I see. And it's been real. I've really enjoyed this. I really have, as you probably can tell. Um, it's been intense. It's been an intense beginning of the year. Um, I've been busy with clients, which I love. I'm doing classes now. I love that maybe the most. Maybe maybe I like doing videos the most. But we're here for each other, right? Okay, I'll let you guys go. I'm so sorry. I sort of drifted off into how I feel, and I feel like there's so much love out there, and there's so much compassion, and that we just have to reach out and ease each other's pain and allow the healing to happen. Allow the healing to happen and have fun doing it. I mean, come on. If we're going to have to do stuff that's hard, let's also do stuff that's fun and you know fulfilling. It's like they say on the airplane, right? Put your mask on first and then help the person next to you. It's you first and then help the person next to you. And really, that's what I think Pluto in Aquarius is going to be a lot of, because we evolved through Pluto's polarity point. And the polarity point of Pluto in Aquarius can be very mental and very cold, very judgy, is Leo the heart, the generosity of spirit. It's hard for a Leo, like Leo's like generally that energy really like loves very deeply. But they love it. They're like pure love because, and it's, some people say Leos, they love themselves. Yeah, but that's okay. And we're all going to have to love ourselves a little bit more as Pluto goes through Aquarius, not to make ourselves better than anybody else. It's not about celebrity. It's not you're the highest, but even celebrity is going to change. Let me tell you, it's already changing. It probably is. I'm probably telling you something you already know. But yeah, it's all changing. It's all shifting, and we have a lot more power than we know, but that power can only be accessed if we first access our heart, because that's where the power really lies. The true power is the power of love. And if you can't give it to yourself, if you can't receive love from yourself or somebody else, those people who don't ask for help. I know, I'm one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I do ask for help when I need it, but but it's not like my nature is to just power through, right? There's a lot to do. There's a lot of work to be done, but we also have to remember to enjoy ourselves along the way. So I really sorry. All right, I'm not sorry, right? I am not sorry at all. If you're still with me, you want to be here. And I know this is kind of evolved, or I would say evolved into something. I wouldn't say devolved into something. This is definitely evolved into something here. So I will let you guys have your evening. Have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful portal. Open up to cosmic consciousness. Do what you can do, and what you know you can't. You can only do what you can do, right? You can only do what you can do. And sometimes you need to you need to fuel up first. So take care of yourself by but we are here for each other. We are here for each other. And next portal, which is the 3-3 portal, is a temperance vibration, trial by fire. This is kind of a trial by water, the Hanged Man, and the temperance card is a trial by fire. So we'll see, you know, we'll see. We're living in interesting times, guys. Take care. I love you. Namaste.